They're trying to put us into famine because pandemic, famine, and war, they go together like the triangle of death.
What do you advise people do to get ready for it?
It's not going to be easy, and especially if you live in a major city. People go to cannibalism within 2 weeks. They're going to be coming into your house. When the crickets come out, it's time to do X.
Great advice just for everybody today. I want to dive into some of the stuff you've been talking about, a famine coming and setting the stage. So I know this goes back to your time in the Netherlands. How does that tie in?
Right, or actually, yeah, that's why I went to Netherlands. Now, in 2020, that was the first time I started warning about potential famine because I could see conditions were starting to be set for that, right? And it's all about conditions.
You noticed this in 2020?
Oh, yeah. I was publishing it like almost daily back then. Get ready for it. Get ready for famine because it's clearly it's a long flash to bang. And so I've been studying it quite a lot. I read a couple dozen books on it now and on famine. I read more than 60 on pandemic, but I'd read about 40 before the pandemic because pandemic, famine, and war, they go together. They're triangle. So you see patterns. And if you get a big war, you always get famine and you always get pandemic. If you get a big one. If you get a big pandemic, a very serious one, you'll always get famine and war, right? They just go together like the triangle of death. So I was talking about this in this interview, and a reader, she called up, she was kind, and she's like, you talk about this as if you made it up. And I said, I did. She said, no, it's in the Bible, the 4 horsemen, right? I was like, yeah, you're right. I literally have plagiarized the Bible. Like, if you're going to plagiarize, I guess go big. But they knew it 2,000 years ago. So all these patterns, nothing's changed. I've started to look at the Bible as like a survival manual. You know what I mean?
Me both.
I mean, seriously, it's like it's all there. Nothing's new under the sun, right? I mean,
like, a lot of the stuff that's happening today,
yep,
is talked about in the Bible.
It's just back then. It's there, you know.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto the like foreigners. From the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. As you can clearly see, as these two individual men are discussing about, this is a video that the bishop has sent, how to survive the first 14 days of a global famine. And I didn't get to watch the whole thing. It's just that one particular part. That one particular part is he gave respect to the scriptures. All right. Now, when you break down the word respect, it means back, spec, to look. So to look back. And he's giving it the credence of what the scriptures have been saying is going to happen. Is happening. All right. And he's right. This is a survival book. This is a book of survival. All right. This is a book wherein you must follow the instructions very carefully. But this Bible is not given, although it's public, although it's given to the masses of people, but it's only really meant for a handful of people to follow the instructions to a T and to survive that which is about to come. And what's about to come is all hell on earth. All right, brought to you by the writer, the source material of the scriptures, which is the spirit of Yahushai. Yahushai is the source material. So for them to acknowledge the fact that this book that we hold so highly dearly, and we know is 100% correct, and now the world's starting to catch up, like, yo, this book been saying this. It shows you the time is now. All right. It's like a great movie, The Book of Eli, and he had the scriptures in him when everybody else didn't know. That's why the main character, what's it called, protagonist, was coming against him, or it was antagonist. I can't remember. I don't know how they break it down. The main villain of the film was seeking the book. And when he finally got his hand in the book, he couldn't read the book because they said, in order to read the book, you have to be blind. But in reality, everybody that can't read the book is blind. All right. This book is not given, once again, this book is not given to the average person. All right. It was given to a few selective individuals. Matter of fact, I'll go there first. On earth. All right. What I'm gonna go to is 2nd Ezra 14. I start at 45 or 46. I think it's 45. It said, yep, 45. It says, and it came to pass when the 40 days was filled, that the highest spake, saying, the first that thou has written publish openly, that the worthy and the unworthy may read it. So when you go into this, Ezra is getting all sorts of revelations. And the Lord, he begged, they had to rewrite the scriptures because when the Babylonians came in, they tore down everything. So he had to rewrite everything and what the Lord told him to do. So it's for the worthy who are the elect and the unworthy, which is the non-elect, but keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such be as wise among the people, which is the elect. All right. So the worthy is all of Israel, but 2/3 of the nation of Israel were not worthy. And the other nations, they're not worthy, period, because the book was never given unto them from the beginning. Okay, that covenant didn't cover them. So they read the scriptures, they can't break it down because it wasn't given to them. The Lord didn't take any other nation and gave them that covenant. That covenant, which is a contract, that deal, whatever you want to call it, was between the Most High, the Heavenly Father, and His people, and the witnesses of that. It's like any other, I would say, a business deal. When you do a contract, you need an eyewitness, and the whole entire heavens. Matter of fact, as I'm speaking, I'll come back to this real quick. Deuteronomy 33:1. It says, and this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of the Most High, blessed the children of Israel before his death. Matter of fact, actually, yeah. It said, and he said, Yahweh came from Sinai and rose up from Seir unto them. He shineth forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of his saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Yeah, he loved the people, and all his saints are in thy hand, and they sat down at thy feet. Everyone shall receive of thy words. So the 10,000s of saints that was spoken of was the angels. All right, that fiery law was the scriptures. Deuteronomy 32:1. Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as a rain, my speech shall distill as a dew, as a small rain upon the tender herb, which when the truth came out, the 100% truth came out, it was like a raindrop, and it brought many people back to life. All right. If you ever study botany, there's some certain plants react. If you leave them dry for a long period of time, they have this slump, and then you just add a little bit of water, and that plant that was everything. Well, that's what's happening. All right. And as the showers upon the grass, because I will publish the name of Yahweh, ascribe his ye greatness unto our power. Psalms 147:19. It says, He hath showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them, because I would say, praise ye the Lord. Why they have not known them? Because the Lord wasn't dealing with them. In order to know the Lord must know you from the beginning. So only the worthy, only the elect is going to understand this book. Going back to this real quick, and it says, 2 Ezra 14 and 46 again. But keep the 70 last, that they mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I did so. So this is not meant for the common folk, but the Lord purposely allowed this word to go out there in the four corners of the earth to condemn the world. And what people are going to realize, they were stuck on love, but they're going to realize that, let me read this real quick. Ezekiel 2 and 10. It says, matter of fact, 10. And he spread it before me, which was what? The scriptures. All right. And back then it was a roll, and they didn't have chapters and so forth. Okay. And it says, and it was written within and without, and it was written therein lamentations, mourning, and woe. So this concept of God is love and the scriptures is all about love is absolutely incorrect. All right. Lamentations, let's look at a word out. Hebrew word is kwayana. Lamentations, dirgy, eliga. Let me look up the word. Dirge. A dirge is a slow, mournful song or piece of music often performed at a funeral. Oh my goodness. To express grief. You see that? So this book is a slow, mournful song, all right, or piece of music often to perform at a funeral to express grief. So that's lamentations of what? Of this current world. Wow, I did not. Let me see what the next one says. Oh, wait, me translate. I hate when it does. Just give me no. Let me just look it up. Down, boom. Exciting. Elegy, a mournful, melancholy, or plaintiveful poem. Right. Psalms. Right. Especially one lamenting the dead. Who's the dead? The dead Israelites. The only one that really ever mattered. All right. That's who the dead was. So this is a book of lamentations, right? Which we all know what mourning is. It says a grumbling, groaning, mourning, grumbling, groaning, a mourning, a sigh, a mourning, sighing, and woe, which is woe is synonymous with destruction. So this book is not about love. This book is about hardship. All right. This book is about a people. The only people that really matters, they're suffering and they come up. So that was heavy in itself. Isaiah 55 and 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So every single thing that's in the scriptures is coming to fruition. And those two individuals was discussing about famine. All right. He did a little study and he said people have 14 days, and not to deal in the sense of they have 14 days before they lose it. No, he said 14 days before people even think about eating other people. All right. So the Lord Ben said these things was going to happen. Famine is a great form of punishment. Okay. Hey, like the scripture says, let me get this real quick. In the book of Lamentation, Lamentation 4:9, it says, "They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, but these pine away stricken through from want of the fruits of the field." So there's going to be a lot of people out there going to be starving to death. Now, according to what they're saying, the government is going to be turning back on. Even though the government does turn back on, there's a great what's the word I'm looking for? There's still a greater chance that famine still will come, especially how this man. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Oh, Salakia, hold on, I'll be right back. And I was gonna do a separate video with this one, but I might as well just do it since I'm in the subject. And check this out.
I explained it in detail, and then the Supreme Court goes, nah, and they don't even fucking explain themselves. We're witnessing a coup. This is a fucking coup in this country. So at the same time, Trump is saying, oh, I'm just not going to pay out on the food stamp benefits for 42 million Americans. They can go hungry. 18 million kids starve. I don't care. Look at what's going on at Mar-a-Lago. Ready? Watch this. I'm going to mute it because you got music. But what we're looking at for everybody listening to this show podcast style, it is, you see shrimp, you see all these different seafoods out there. It's a big old seafood platter. There was a big ice block that says CPAC on it. I'll play it one more time. And then you're going to see after this fucking bread lines forming in this country. Watch. So there's the seafood platter. Everybody's got the most expensive food, the nicest food. You can sort of see the CPAC ice block there too.
In reality, that's not food. That's just disgusting. Shrimp is disgusting. Crab is disgusting. But
this is what's going on. And by the way, they were also watching synchronized swimming at Mar-a-Lago. Here's the fucking bread lines forming. This is they're hanging out in the rain there. Just disgusting. Now remember, at the same time that Donald Trump cut off the food stamp money, he also cut off 94 million pounds of food aid that was supposed to go to the food banks.
So there you go. So you have a man-made famine that's in play, that's taking place right now. And this man-made famine is coming from, which he made mention of it, and I'm gonna go into it. Revelation. I could start at 1. 1 is, well, you know what? I'm gonna break it down. Revelation 6:1. It says, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of the thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, 'Come and see.' And I saw, behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer," which is speaking about the Lord. See, they'll have you believe this is the Antichrist and this, that, oh, these are 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, but they can't prove it. Now, what scripture backs this up, which is very important? Revelation 19:10. And it says, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, this is John talking to an angel, right? And the angels, he seen the angel, he was beautified by the angel, he was going to worship him, and this is what the angel said. And it says, "See that do it not. I am thy fellow servant of thy brethren." So that means that angel obviously is an Israelite. Okay? And it says, "That have the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach. For the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy." This is the great survival book, right? This is what they said. So this book is about prophecy, saying things before. So this is the spirit of Yahushai. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. So that's Yahushai coming. All right. So that's the precept to that. Don't listen to these other camps and try to tell you. I don't know what the hell they be trying to say. Sometimes it get to the point where it is what it is. But what this vision, before I continue, is showing is the events that's going to take place. The Lord is going to come to conquer what? All right. This is how you got to look at it. So he's seen an event of a conqueror coming to conquer, and it just broke it down. That is the Lord coming to conquer. But what is he coming to? Who he's going to take? Esau. All right. The scripture says what? Roughly, I'm just going to quote it. So from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of them, Jacob held the hill of Esau. But Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau is a current ruler that's bringing this, which I'm going to go into. It says, and there went out, and when he had, verse 3, when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. And then went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him. That power came from whom? Isaac. Isaac gave Esau a blessing. All right. When Esau begged his father for a blessing, right? What did Esau said to his father? No, what did Isaac say to his father? He said, I can't take that back. I made him lord over his brethren. So it wasn't a thing where Isaac could take that blessing back. It was given. So in return, Isaac gave Esau a blessing. And right now we are in Esau's blessing. Okay? Keep this in mind. It says, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So to take away peace, that means what's the opposite of peace? War. Consistent war. This man, since he came out 1492, he has brought nothing but turmoil, hatred, war all over the planet Earth. All right? These are people of war, and not in a good way. And that great sword is the ICBM nuclear missile. It says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balance in his hand. So the balance is what? Represents it is famine. And what's ironically funny about all this that's happened, which is in the very next verse, is this famine that's taking place is a man-made famine. And they're telling everybody that they're causing this famine. Prime example, many, many years ago, after the quote-unquote pandemic was over, the organization known as the WHO, World Health Organization, they were stressing the point of famine. Oh, great famine is going to come. Because why? They planned to do this. And what proves that they're planning to do it, that they were doing this, it says that I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, which penny in that time was a day's wages. All right. So you work. So imagine you working. Well, people don't get paid for the day that they work, but people get salary. So by the salary or weekly paycheck. So I was thinking about it. You will starve. Pretty much, you will starve to fucking death. Wait till you get paid so you get just to get money to eat. But it's very unequal. So now we have a thing what they call inflation. Okay, which ironically funny, the penny what John saw was the same penny that the Roman soldiers was getting paid, which represent the day wages. Matter of fact, let me go here. It says that denarius, contact 10, a Roman silver coin in New Testament time, and it took its name from being equal to 10 asses, and a number after 217 BC, increased to 16 about 3.898 grams, or 0.1375 ounces. It was a principal silver coin of the Roman Empire. From the from the parable of laborers in the vineyard, which is Matthew's 20 chapter. I love that one. It it would seem that the denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wages, because you're supposed to get paid. You're not supposed to get paid every week. You're supposed to get paid from the day that you work. All right. So when John saw this, he's saying that basically he saw the term that we call inflation. All right, hyperinflation, because you take we say a measure for wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And what barley you could make bread. So you have all these things, and what he saw famine. All right, and what John really saw was famine in the sense of a man-made famine. Okay, because there's still access to food, but is the powers that be is causing that famine, and it's clear as day what's happening. So when the man said that this book is this basically a survival instruction book, he was not lying. All right, it was been seen that this was going to happen, but the Lord uses that to punish people. All right, matter of fact, Sirach 39 and 27, or was it 28? 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction, they poured out their force and appeased the wrath of him that made them. So despite everything that goes on, and you see physical men, there's a spirit behind that. All right? There's spirits behind everything. And it says fire and hell and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. This is why it says right here, 2nd Ezra 8 and 50. It said, for many great miseries shall be done unto them that in the latter time, I'm sorry, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So this is why the scripture says what it says. This is the time of vengeance on the people. So the Lord is using Esau to inflict this pain and suffering to the masses. All right. The Lord has been using Esau for a long period of time to get what he wants. And the ordinary people are going to suffer for that. This is why we should always go into it. Isaiah 9 and 19, was it 2020? And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry. He shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man, the flesh of his own arm. So people are going to come eat themselves. They're going to eat other people, and they're conditioning the people to do that. All right, they're conditioning everyone to accept the fact of eating human flesh. Okay, this is why I get to finish it. Lamentations 4:9. It says, "They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger." Because because of this act right here, that shows that the Lord can't stand you. All right, the Lord can't stand you. So when this does take place, which I did read this already, I'm Slakia. When this takes place, and it will take place, the only people that's going to be protected from that time is the main people, is the elect of the nation of Israel. Second Ezra 16. Where's I going with that one? 27. No. Wait. Second Ezra 16. Yep. Let me go up. 19 says, "Behold, famine and plague, tribulation." Let's break it down. What's famine? Lack of bread, right? Which the food that we eat is not even real food. So it's gonna you constantly feeling hungry. When you find the demon that's within, which is the parasites, which they give you if you eat the food that they give, which everybody's gonna eventually do, then it's gonna leave you more hungry. And then what happens? A plague. What is a plague? Diseases, germ warfare. Now, ironically, real quick, ironically, with this government shutdown, this whole situation with the government shutdown was about literally these two things. Well, that's what they say publicly. The two things. Oh, actually, all three of them. Wow, look at that. So it says, "Behold, famine, lack of bread." There's food there, but what do? The food, the actual food to help the people, the poor people, they remove that. They remove the food for the people. Okay, that's check, right? We see that long bread lines, and then they say that even the military. That's ironic too. Even the military, they had to go on long ass bread lines, and it's not just here in America. They had to go in the pantry in Germany, and it says and plague. So what's to combat a plague? Healthcare. So people had a choice between food or healthcare, and they caved in, and neither of these things was checked. But what they end up bringing, what they end up going to bring, tribulation, tough times. All right, they're bringing tribulation to everyone. This is in anguish, which is a natural feeling. All right, you feel defeated. Okay. Matter of fact, let me look up the word anguish. I'm sure you already know, but
anguish.
It's an extreme mental and physical suffering, pain and distress, which me and the brother who was breaking it down about the stress. This is why they've been pulling people apart. They was giving them hope, take away that hope. Giving them hope, take away that hope. It was constantly, they've been playing with people, playing with your emotions, often caused by grief, which is what? Sudden deaths of loved ones, okay? Which like like 6 years ago, the pandemic, right? That's another form, loss or trauma. And this is all trauma based, okay? So people, we in that time, we're literally in that time. It says, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, which is they're being beat. They're not being mindful of why these things are happening. But why these things are happening? Because of pride, because of the wickedness that's been in this world. That's why these things are happening. It says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth," which there was a time that the food was free. I mean, not free, but a lot of things was cheap. It's no longer cheap. And it says that they shall think themselves to be in a good case, even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And this is where we at. This is where we at. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So, hey, we're in that time frame, like the man said, but this book has been prepared us for these things to come. And the greatest preparation is good to have something at home, but the greatest preparation is in the trust in Yahweh Yahushua, which I'm gonna end it off on this. This goes for everybody. Nahum 1:7. The Lord is good in a stronghold in a day of trouble, and we are in a time of trouble. If anything to put your all to is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and He knoweth them that trust in Him. So more than ever, let the scorners laugh, let them make their fun, their games, all that crap. But the Lord knows who trusts in Him, and those that trust in Him. Matter of fact, let me end it off on here, which everybody should know. Isaiah 65 and about 14. I'm wrong. 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall hunger. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing of joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for the vexation of spirit. The two contrasts. Those that trust in the Lord, those the elect of the nation of Israel, are going to eat, are going to be safe. The people, they're going to pine away. All right? They're going to pine away. So with that being said, shalom to the elect and the nation of Israel. Shalom.